that time again. TDC Insurance is offering awesome deals in its holiday extravaganza. Buying a new car? Get up to 60% off your motor insurance, free windshield cover, 0% interest-free, cashback, and so much more. Buying a house? Save up to 30% on home insurance and additional discounts if you pair with your new car. It's crazy this holiday season at TDC Insurance with our TDC Insurance Holiday Extravaganza. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
Good morning, Sinkers and Nevis, and welcome to Inside the News right here on WinFM 98.9. It is Wednesday. Sorry, it is Boy, I'm sleeping. It is Saturday, December 17, 2022, and it is 8 minutes past the hour of 11. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the program. Forgive me. I'm saying that it is Wednesday. It is Saturday. A beautiful Saturday here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It is day 2 of VAT Day. And so people are out in their numbers shopping, getting their last minute shopping for Christmas in. And of course, taking advantage of the discounts and duty free this and you know, of course, VAT Day. All right, good morning, Sinkers and Nevis, and welcome to Inside the News for Saturday, December 17, 2022. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the program. The phone lines will be open for you to lend your contribution The numbers to call are 466 0989. That is 466 0989. 762 0989. So it's 466 0989 or 762 0989. This is Inside the News for Saturday, December 17, 2022. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. I want to begin, of course, with what I would say is perhaps still on the minds of many people, particularly those on the island of Nevis. As you are aware, Nevis just came out of an election there held on Monday, December 12. The Concerned Citizens Movement, they were able to retain government, and I understand that the inauguration will take place tomorrow, Sunday, in Charlestown. Premier Brantley will be has already been sworn in as the Premier of Nevis, and he will be joined by Spencer Brand, the Member of Parliament elect for St. Paul, and Eric Evelyn, Member of Parliament elect for St. George. And of course, the administration will get the opportunity to name two junior ministers, two nominated members, and those members, along with those who have been elected, will make up the Nevis Island administration for 2022 over the next 5-year period. The opposition, led by the Honorable Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, and joining her colleague, Cleon Stapleton Simmons, they are expected to name their nominated senator. As it is, prior to the election, it was just Cleon Stapleton Simmons and the opposition bench. As prescribed in the Constitution, there must be two members of the opposition, elected members of the opposition, for there to be a nominated senator. And that is why Cleon was there as the lone representative. She is now joined by the leader of the NRP, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge. And so again, congratulations to all of the elected members of Parliament. And of course, congratulations to the Concerned Citizens Movement for retaining government for the next 5 years. The inauguration takes place tomorrow, Sunday, and they are expected to get back out to work on Monday to carry out the business of the people of Nevis, to govern the affairs of the island of Nevis. I think many people were surprised that the elections were so closely contested. The CCM retained a government, and the CCM retained the government, and a lot of people have been giving their take on what took place on Monday. So we did here at 1FM, we did an article on that. It says the Concerned Citizens Movement secured a win in a tightly contested electoral race held on December 12 across 5 districts, defeating the Nevis Reformation Party, which is the main opposition, and the Moral Restoration Movement, which is a new party on the scene. And in District 1, there were 1,240 votes that were cast, and there were 5 rejected ballots. CCM's candidate, Spencer Brand, received 631 votes compared to the NRP's J.D. Keynes with 604 votes, a difference of 27. In District 2, 2,521 votes were cast. There were 25 spoiled ballots. CCM's political leader, Matt Brantley, received 1,313 votes compared to NRP's Dr. Patricia Bartlett with 1,166 votes, a difference of 147. In District 3, 1,057 votes were cast. There were 10 rejected ballots. CCM's candidate Eric Evelyn received 736 votes compared to NRP's Rohan Isles' 311, a difference of 425. In District 4, 1,511 votes were cast. There were 8 spoiled ballots. NRP's political leader, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, received 750 votes, compared to CCM's Alexis Jeffers with 742, a difference of 8 votes. In District 5, 1,223 votes were cast. There were 3 spoiled ballots. NRP's Cleone Stapleton Simmons received 712, compared to CCM's Latoya Jones with 508, a difference of 204. Therefore, the CCM received a total of 3,930 votes, equivalent to 52% of total votes cast, whilst the NRP received a total of 3,543 votes, equivalent to 46.9% of total votes cast. Representing the MRM, that is the new party on the scene, Samuel Keynes received 17 votes in District 2, and Patricia Jeffers received 11 votes in District 4, a total of 28 votes, equivalent to 0.37% of total votes cast. According to data from the Nevis Electoral Office, 13,172 people were registered to vote in the election. However, 7,552 electors cast ballots. Hence, a voter turnout of approximately 57.33%. There were a total of 51 spoiled ballots, rejected ballots, an equivalent of 0.68%. The CCM regained the majority of electoral seats for for the third consecutive time, thus forming the Nevis Island administration for the next 5 years. Meanwhile, the Nevis Reformation Party saw a boost in the polls after the results in each district proved to be better in comparison to the previously contested NIA elections of December 2017, where the NRP only managed to win 1 seat. While the NRP gained an extra seat in the House in the December 12 elections, it was not enough to form the Nevis Island administration. However, the candidates exceeded expectations and suffered minimal damage, making it their best performance in elections contested within the past 10 years. The Moral Restoration Movement were clearly the most unpopular party throughout the election and is yet to have its messages engraved in the hearts and minds of the electorate. And so the dust has settled. There is a new administration. What are your thoughts on the elections that were held in Nevis on Monday? And I know people made predictions early to say, what they think the outcome would be. But give us your thoughts on the elections held in Nevis on December 12 in terms of the performance of the individual candidates and, of course, the parties. Your thoughts. Call us at 466-0989 or 762-0989. That is 466-0989, 762-0989. If you have no calls, we'll take a break right now to give a shout out to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue inside the news right here on WinFM 98.9. Let's take this break, and I'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
People make the world go round.
This holiday season, a loan from TDC Financial Services is for me and for you. Up to $85,000 for any purpose. So top up for my food business, repairs on the house, and all the styles for Sugar Mass 51. And of course, sorting out my kids for back to school. Hear what my friend had to say about her experience.
Girl, I love to get my holiday loan at TDC Financial Services. It is less hassle and you get the loan fast.
So you see, TDC Financial Services is the place to get what you need this Christmas. A loan for me and a loan for you. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go round.
Welcome back to Inside the News here on 1FM 98.9. We have some callers on the line, so let's take this call. Hello, caller. Good morning. You are on the air.
Hey, good morning, Devon. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. And yourself?
Man, are you giving God thanks? Great to be alive.
Yes, it is.
In December, many people have not made it.
Mm-hmm.
The lady yesterday saying about the funeral homes should be making donations. They should be giving dividends. You don't think that's the truth.
Have you gotten yours from Social Security?
Well, it better be there. I trust Dr. Jones and Social Security to put mine there, so I don't have to go down to check.
All right.
You know what I mean? You check. You get yours yet?
No, I haven't.
This is what I wanted to ask, because I think from what I understood, it was only the pensionable and the pensioners who were to get on the 15th. Isn't that so?
Yes, from my understanding as well, yes.
Yeah, because, there's some question. If you were on certain programs and they already have your data, people are looking for the money on the 15th. Anyway, let me get to the newest exciting election. Well, as usual, I don't know how if you are just count backward and then forward again. It counting is slow. But I've been listening to people trying to analyze both parties, And the 2020, the radio station.
Sorry?
The other station up there, something love, next to Freedom, 102 point something.
Go
TV station.
Go ahead and make the point.
Yes, I've been listening to them doing analysis of the election. And I was quite intrigued because what they were saying that maybe contributed to CCM winning was what is called bribe and whatever the payment of money. And one was lamenting that the young people in Nevis have adopted this Saint Kitts attitude where they want to be paid for their vote. You're on the ground, so you should know if it's true or not. But I got the impression that both sides are paying. Then one of the commentators also commented on what you call the expatriate residents of Nevis. And they point to especially the Santo Domingans. And they claim they live somewhere in Charlestown. I don't know. It's Quadac Road. Where Quadac Road is, Charlestown, right?
Yeah, Quadac Road is in Charlestown.
Right.
Well, parts of Quadac Road, you have one half in Charlestown and the other half in St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. Yeah, because one of the commentators was saying that it was the expatriates who were voting against the NRP. I don't know if you could discuss that, what you know about it. And I wish all of those who succeeded well. I was surprised at the turnout in Ginger Land because the last time he was quite close to Eric Evelyn. You remember that, right?
If it was, you said it was quite close to him?
Yeah, the amount of votes he got in the federal election. The gap
Oh, okay.
You notice it? I think he got 3 something this time. I think the last time he got what? 6 something, 9 something. It was quite close to Evelyn on.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out. And the girl Latoya, some of them said that was the most, the highest number of votes the CCM ever got in that district. Do you know about that?
Yes, based on the results, yes.
Because the results are interesting, and the one with the leader of the party, she won by, 8 votes. Well, Patsy did win by 4, right? So a win is a win. So I really don't see any reason to be prolonging, because I think there are certain agitators in the party who are talking about going to the court. You got to have thing, because you are starting the court. You have 21 days to file. And if you don't have any sound thing, then you may end up having to pay. So I don't know if you know exactly on what grounds they plan, because you live in Nevis. On what ground do they plan to take the matter to the court? I don't mean any vague statements. Was it that some people who voted should not have voted, or that the vote count was not accurate, But I want to congratulate, and I still admire the visions, well, my genes up there, that they still are different to petition. They don't go on like their life hang on a party. So I must compliment them for that, and I hope going forward that the country progress. All right, then.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. In regards to the results from that constituency, Nevis 10, the results I have here was 616 for Eric Evelyn of the CCM and 229 for Rohan Isles of the NRP. So Eric Evelyn was 616 and Rohan Isles was 229. The results now, and let me go back to it. The results now for Mr. Evelyn were about 700, and let me get the exact number just to be on the safe side. But the results were about a little over 700, and for the NRP it was a little over 300, and so there was an increase for both parties in the local election. Also, as someone from Nevis, the feeling on the ground is that people on the island, they take the local elections, more seriously. Some people tell themselves, "I'm not gonna vote in the federal. I'll save my vote for the local." In district number 3, so in August, Eric Evelyn got 616, and in December he got 736. Rohan Isles of the NRP in August got 229, and in December he got 311. So an increase there for both. An increase there for both parties. But yes, that is the feeling, and most of you perhaps have heard that already, where Nevisians prefer, well, based on the conversations that I have had, you may share a different view, but Nevisians always say they prefer to participate in the local elections rather than the federal elections. Some even go as far as saying that the federal elections is a sink it election. And so we are going to save our vote, and we're going to participate in the local elections instead. It is 11:30. We'll take a break now to give a shout out to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue inside the news right here on Win FM 98.9.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Buying your medication is easy with City Drug Stores curbside pickup. WhatsApp our certified pharmacist at 662-8769 with your requests. For prescriptions, take a clear photograph and send for review. We will engage you in dialogue and then provide a quotation and link for payment. You can then pay via TDC's online payment portal. And once the transaction is complete, you'll be notified that your pickup is ready. Yes, it's that easy. Send your WhatsApp message to 662-8769 to order your medications today with City Drug Stores curbside pickup service.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
Welcome back to Inside the News here on Win FM 98.9. It is 11:33 here in our studios for today. I'm Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the program. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. That is 466-0989 or 762-0989. Your thoughts on the recently held Nevis Island Assembly elections. The CCM retained office for a third time, having taken office in 2013. The inauguration of the new administration takes place tomorrow, Sunday, the 18th December 2022. And at that inauguration, we are expected to hear the appointment of a new deputy premier, as Alexis Jeffers of the Concerned Citizens Movement was not successful in his seat, and so he will no longer serve as the deputy premier for the island of Nevis. And so the Premier Brantley is expected to name a new deputy premier and of course assign new portfolios. We know as it is right now, Hazel Brandy Williams will not be returning as a junior minister. Hazel Brandy Williams will not be returning as a junior minister, and so I'm not certain as it relates to Troy Liburd, who was the minister with responsibility for education and library services technology. But the Premier is expected to name 2 new junior ministers. All right, we have some callers on the line, so let's take this phone call. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. Let me first start with what you others call housekeeping. When the House of Assembly is on, you could barely hear this thing on Win FM. For some reason, you can't hear it. It's more noise than anything, so please tell the engineer. Now, the NRP is entitled to 1 senator, right? Because they now have a leader.
Yes.
Now, I hope it's a male. I don't mind the female thing, but I think, give a male a chance. Because, while some people praising, some men feel left out. Because it cannot be the male who run, because, according to our Constitution, you cannot run and the people reject you and then you end up in Parliament.
Yes, that is correct.
So there is no chance. So I suggest they find a young man. There got to be young men in the party because all I hear talking a lot of old men. So I hope it's not none of them. Give a young man a chance. And I think the CCM will be entitled to 2.
Yes.
Well, have you heard any shushu as a shushu? Have you heard any information as to who might be the person to be sworn in? Because they already have Troy.
No, I have
could
not.
give another woman a chance.
I have not, no.
I would suggest to give another female, eh? Because when we say we're going to balance out, you must balance out. So that is what I really wanted to know. You still didn't answer the question as to, and another one, because there was a question of the overseas voters, which I find, according to the older hierarchy of the NRP, they seem to be against it.
That is a question that I cannot answer.
I know, but you have heard the discussions.
Yeah, but I cannot answer the question.
Well, you can't answer, don't attempt to answer, you can't answer, eh? You might end up by the step. So, I want to know, you see, there have to be definite positions we take. I know Mr. Brantley was for it. Unity, maybe 2,000 unity wasn't for it. Because at least the former Prime Minister attempted to pass the bill. I think it got 1 reading, right, with a 6 months residency.
Mm-hmm.
That matter's got to be settled now, both by the Labour Party and all those in Parliament. We have got to have definite positions. Because we can't have one position over here, another one over there, So I am waiting to hear, and this thing about 2 terms. We have got to get the matter settled because, we have some people saying that is Dr. Jew's position. I hear maybe Mr. Brandt is planning to take it too. What is the official, what can we expect as the official position? And the question that is being asked in Nevis, we had election, the obvious, not exact official absorption, if you want to call it a correlation, association of the CCM to the Labour Party. What position does the NRP plan to take in relation to the Labour Party in saying case? Because that was part and is part, and now election has gone. That is the question. Should the NRP take the same position as the CCM, or should they take an adversarial position? I don't know if you have any ideas on that. But please tell the engineer we cannot hear the House of Assembly go and sit. All right then.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. The phone lines are open and we are still taking your calls here on Inside the News for Saturday, December 17. Call us at 466-0989 or 762-0989. That's 466-0989 or 762-0989. The question surrounding on what grounds they are seeking to challenge the election results. I know the party issued a statement indicating that they intend to seek redress, they intend to challenge the results. I would assume that in the coming days that they would provide more information on exactly what they are going to do in a matter like this. And so it is just up for us now to stay tuned and to follow to see what is going to come out of this. Since they have taken this position, I think it would be safe to say that it's going to be interesting going forward whether something actually comes out of the case that they intend to bring or not. Either way, it will be interesting. This is not the first time we've seen something like this before. I think it was the 2011, sometime around 2011 or 2012, where something like this was done, where there were allegations of electoral fraud and allegations of irregularities surrounding the local elections there on Nevis. And so that matter ended up in court, and the results for Nevis 2, St. John's, were declared null and void. And so whether something comes out of this case or not, I think it will be interesting. And perhaps taking, let me say, the people of Nevis back down memory lane, as something like this happened before, had to go to court concerning allegations of irregularities and irregularities that is taking place in the local elections there on Nevis. It is 11:42 here in the studios of WinFM 98.9, and the phone lines are open. Your thoughts on the local elections there. Of course, the question surrounding whether there are sufficient grounds to bring a case, legitimate questions that everybody must ask. Whether there is a strong position that they would have. I think whenever things like these happen, where people accuse one party or the other of participating or supporting, or rather being guilty of electoral fraud, things like these, I think, push people further away from participating in the electoral process. I think some people, have developed the mindset that, well, I'm not going to participate in the election because something funny is going to happen. There is going to be some sort of irregularity. And I believe that is one of the reasons why people, for some reason decide to stay away from the entire process. Of course, electoral reform in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is definitely needed. A small island such as Nevis, it took us basically the entire night to find out the final result for only 5 districts. And we had neighboring islands with a much larger population declaring by 10 p.m., 9 p.m., who the winners were, who the new members of parliament were. On the island of Nevis, that was not the case. I think they started at a good time, a little after 8. I think we got the first result around 9, a little after 9. And we got results from 9 right up until 12 midnight. And then there was this dead silence from 12 right until around a little after 3 minutes to 4. And so the final result, they came out a little after 4. And everybody, was asking the question, why is it taking so long for the results to be counted? As I said, in other countries which a much larger voting population, they know by sometimes 10, who the new government is. I think it was Grenada who announced by perhaps it was either 9 or 10 p.m. that election night who the winners were. You guys will recall that the elections here in the federal elections held here in August, those elections as well took some time for the announcement, the final announcement, which didn't come, I think, after 60 the following day. And then, of course, the elections held in 2020 and 2015. But we have to find a way. We really, really have to find a way to get past this. I mean, such a small island state, and our results are coming out, too late. And so the official count is expected to begin at 8, and we don't know, sometimes after 4, after 5, after 6, the following day, who the new government is. So I would think that the administration, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, is taking the necessary steps to ensure that there is electoral reform. There is also what we would say something simple in terms of the counting of the ballots, where questions have been asked as to whether it is necessary for all of the ballot boxes to be transported to one counting station. The suggestion has been, why don't you count the ballots there at that polling station? And of course, with the use of technology, you send the information to the returning officer, who then notifies the supervisor of elections and say, hey, these are the results for this box, these are the results for this district. But it takes up a lot of time when you have to go around the entire island to collect all of these boxes from a number of polling stations across the different electoral districts. That too, I think, could be wrong, but that too, I think, is something that can be looked at, and something definitely that can be fixed, because it takes, it's overbearing now. It's really, really overbearing. Now, I think whenever we're having elections, most people tell themselves, it is going to be a long night, and so I am going to prepare myself. Is this something that we want to see happening going forward? I would say no, as many people have been calling for reform, and of course, electoral reform, and of course, dealing with that, which I would think is something simple. Something really simple, and nothing for us to complicate, and nothing for us to make difficult. But in terms of counting the ballots at that station, at that polling station, I think is a great suggestion that should be adopted and welcomed, because we can't be having elections in a small island such as Nevis, or a small island state such as St. Kitts and Nevis. We begin the count after 8 or after 9, and the following day, sometimes 10, 12 hours after, you still don't know who the winner is. You still don't know who the new members of Parliament are. And that is sad. That is not good at all. It is 11:50, just 10 minutes to the hour. Of course, we break at 12 for the headline news. And when we come back, we continue inside the news right here on WinFM 98.9. Let's take this break, and we will be right back.
People make the world go
that time again. TDC Insurance is offering awesome deals in its holiday extravaganza. Buying a new car? Get up to 60% off your motor insurance, free windshield cover, 0% interest free, cashback, and so much more. Buying a house? Save up to 30% on home insurance and additional discounts if you pair with your new car. It's crazy this holiday season at TDC Insurance with our TDC Insurance Holiday Extravaganza. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go round.
holiday season, a loan from TDC Financial Services is for me and for you. Up to $85,000 for any purpose. So top up for my food business, repairs on the house, and all the styles for Sugar Mass 51. And of course, sorting out my kids for back to school. Hear what my friend had to say about her experience.
Girl, I love to get my holiday loan at TDC Financial Services. It is less hassle and you get the loan fast.
So you see, TDC Financial Services is the place to get what you need this Christmas. A loan for me and a loan for you. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go round.
Welcome back to Inside the News here on 1FM 98.9. We break at 12 for the headline news, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation right here on 98.9. It is indeed a beautiful Saturday morning in Sugar City, St. Kitts. It is the final day, or day 2, well, final day of VAT Day, where you get the opportunity to do your Christmas shopping. I believe it's going to be a good Christmas. We have the carnival going on as well. Let me use this opportunity to say congratulations to EBJ Harmonics. EBJ Harmonics, heartiest congratulations to that band for, I think, winning for a third time. For a third time, they won the Panorama Steel Pan competition, the Sugar Mass 51 Panorama Steel Pan competition. This is the third time that they have won, and the winning piece was Nobody Gonna Run Me by King Short Shirt. I did not get the opportunity to attend or listen to the performances in their entirety, but from all reports, it was successful. The event was highly successful, well attended, and you can tell that the band players, they had a really good time. And so kudos to EBJ Harmonics and the other bands from Nevis. From my understanding, the bands from Nevis, Young Vibrations, and the other bands, they too, they were excellent. A spectacular performance. High energy, pure vibes. They were really, really good. So I think the people who attended, the patrons, of course, they're telling themselves, boy, I get my money what. I had a really good time. And so congratulations to EBJ Harmonics and the other participating bands on a job well done. Each year in St. Kitts and Nevis, people look forward to this. And as the years go by, the competition gets popular and more popular and more popular. You know, a lot more people come out, more bands participate, more young people joining the various bands. It's a really good thing. I mean, steel pan music is beautiful. I remember playing in this competition in 2014, December of 2014, and so I'm no stranger to the Panorama steel pan competition. Again, congratulations to EBJ Harmonics on a job well done. It's carnival in St. Kitts. People are on the street. I mean, when you walk through Bastia, you can tell that it is carnival, it is Christmas, and people are having a good time. Be sure to take advantage of the VAT Day for today. A number of discounts on really good items. People are doing their Christmas shopping. But remember, January is going to be a very long month as usual. And so don't go out there and spend all of your money and then come January, you have nothing left to provide for you and your family. Of course, it is your money. You spend it how you like. But my advice to you would be to spend it wisely. January is going to be a really long month. I've been your host for today's edition of Inside the News, right here on 1FM 98.9. Devon Cornelius. We'll take a break now for the headline news, and when we come back, we will continue the conversation here today.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
People make the world go
You've found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
You have the keys to your new car this Christmas? Now it's time to get it insured. Visit DeLean Baldwin, agents for Caribbean Alliance Insurance, to save up to 65% off your motor insurance premium. All new clients are eligible for major discounts. Plus, there's lots of sweet prizes to be won. Switch and save and get in on the action. Visit us today in St. Kitts or Nevis, or give us a call at 465-2631 or 469-5303. Promotion ends December 31st, and all quotes are valid until January 31st. Drive secure this Christmas with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Terms and conditions apply.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Think before you bin it. There can be some use in it. The Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF Technical Mission and the Department of Environment, presents Let's Recycle. We're encouraging all residential homes, commercial businesses, and schools to bring along your plastic bottles, metal cans, and aluminum cans, ready for an opportunity to win big. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the following locations: in Nevis, every second and fourth Friday of each month at Delta Petroleum, ex-Petrol in Camps, Big Six in Gingerland, and the Old Artisan Village in Charlestown. In St. Kitts, every second and fourth Tuesday at the Connery Roundabout, every first and third Tuesday at Buckley's parking lot in front of Best Buy, and the last Saturday of each month in Dieppe Bay. But wait, that's not all. 1 pound equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottles, flatware, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis, or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. So think smart. Take PAT, reduce, reuse, recycle.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
That was the Win FM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built
With the WIN headline news, I am Devon Cornelius. In our headlines, inauguration of the Nevis Island Administration set for Sunday, December 18th, 2022. A new cabinet of ministers in the Nevis Island Administration NIA will be sworn into office on Sunday, December 18th, 2022. The office of the Premier of Nevis has extended an invitation to the general public to attend the ceremonial inauguration of the Nevis Island Administration, which will take place at the El Quemido T. Willett Park, Charlestown, Nevis at 4 p.m. Attire for the event is semi-formal wear. The Honorable Mark A.G. Brantley was on December 14th, 2022, sworn in as the fourth Premier of Nevis, his second consecutive term in office. He will lead the NIA cabinet. Premier Brantley will be joined by the other successful candidates from the Concerned Citizens Movement CCM party elected at the December 12, 2022 Nevis Island Assembly election. The Honourable Spencer Brand, Member of Parliament elect for St. Paul, and the Honourable Eric Evelyn, Member of Parliament elect for St. George. The nominated members of Cabinet will also take the oaths of office, allegiance and secrecy during the ceremony. Meanwhile, the opposition, led by the Honourable Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, Member of Parliament elect for St. James, is expected to name their nominated senator for the Nevis Island Assembly. The Honourable Cleone Stapleton Simmons will also join Dr. Daniel Hodge and the nominated senator in Parliament.
Jamaica's 8-time Olympic gold medalist Usain Bolt will be honored with the Lifetime Achievement Award at BBC Sports Personality of the Year. 36-year-old Bolt, who is the fastest sprinter in history, retired in August 2017 as a 19-time global champion. He was crowned Olympic 100 and 200-meter champion at 3 successive games: Beijing 2008, London 2012, and Rio 2016. Bolt, widely acknowledged as the greatest sprinter of all time and the only athlete to win both the 100 and 200 meters at 3 consecutive Olympics, clocked his enduring world record 100-meter time of 9.58 seconds at the 2009 World Championships in Berlin. He also still holds the 200-meter world record of 19.19, which he set 4 days after his 100-meter record in Berlin. With those successes, the first of 11 goals across 4 World Championships. BBC's Sports Personality of the Year Awards takes place on Wednesday, December 21 at the Media City UK in Salford.
The USVI's bumper year for tourism is ending with a major accomplishment. The island of St. Croix is preparing to host U.S. President Joe Biden for end-of-year celebrations. This is not the first time Biden has welcomed the new year on the Big Island. He visited in 2015 and 2016, but this year marks the first visit in decades by a sitting U.S. president. In 2008, then Senator Barack Obama visited St. Thomas in March, months before being elected as the nation's 44th president. In 2018, former President Bill Clinton paid a visit to the territory, obviously long after his presidency ended. Prior to President Biden's visit, President Harry Truman delivered a speech in Christiansted during his February 1948 visit to St. Croix. And before him, Herbert Hoover was the first sitting president to visit the USVI, landing on St. Thomas on March 17, 1931. Paul A. Pearson had preceded him just 10 days prior to take up his post as the USVI's first civilian governor. President Biden's impending arrival is already putting a strain on St. Croix's accommodation and hospitality sector, as the U.S. Secret Service and the White House make advanced preparations for his visit later this month. Hotel rooms and car rentals, two of the most in-demand items during the holiday season on St. Croix, are in scarce supply as excitement mounts.
Elon Musk's ownership of Twitter has gotten off to a shaky start. In his latest controversial move, he's banned more than a half-dozen Twitter accounts, mainly high-profile tech journalists who were reporting on Musk's ownership of the company. Some, like Aaron Rupert, had been critical of Musk.
There does seem to be a goal here to kind of put a chill on negative coverage of him, critical coverage of him, by sort of conveying to journalists, hey, you know, if you cross me, I can kind of take this all away from you. I can sort of banish you from this platform that people in the media rely on.
The ban had also extended to others who hadn't been particularly critical of Musk.
I had a message which popped up which said I was suspended. Then a little bit later, there was a banner that came up that said I had been permanently suspended, and if I wanted to appeal it, to click on a particular link. I clicked on that link, and it's a broken link.
Late Thursday, Musk briefly joined on a Twitter Spaces chat where he justified suspending the journalists because, he claimed, they doxed him, meaning they made public his live location or personal information details. Musk claims he wants to bring back free speech to Twitter, but banning these journalists seems to run counter to that. And up until now, most of the talk has been about the people that Musk has invited back on the platform, many of whom are very controversial figures.
Work is continuing in Ukraine to restore electricity to homes, hospitals and critical infrastructure following the 9th wave of Russian missile strikes on Friday. There's growing anger about the constant attacks on civilian infrastructure as temperatures in many regions are below freezing. President Zelensky said Moscow still had enough missiles for several heavy strikes. Well, our Ukraine correspondent Hugo Bachega is in the capital, Kyiv. And Hugo, give us an update about these strikes and what their impact has been.
Yeah, Mariam, so we had an update this morning from the Kyiv mayor, who said water has now been fully restored to the capital, but parts of the city remain without power and heating. And as you can see, it is cold here, it's been raining, so a very difficult situation for people, not only here in the capital, but in other parts of Ukraine who remain without heating and water, and in some places temperatures are below freezing. So to give you an idea of the scale of the attack on Friday, the authorities said Russia had fired 76 missiles, so one of the largest airstrikes by Russia since the beginning of the war, and the air defense shot down 60 of those missiles, but more than a dozen ended up hitting targets across the country. The authorities said 9 power stations were hit. Yesterday during the day we saw blackouts across the country, and now emergency workers are still working to restore services across the country. And we've been talking to people here in Kyiv, and they say they are angry with these attacks because they believe that the civilians have become the main target here, and the authorities have been accusing Russia of weaponizing winter with these attacks by targeting civilian infrastructure as temperatures plummet. And I think what President Zelensky said last night was that Russia still had enough missiles to carry out more of these heavy strikes, so perhaps telling Ukrainians to expect more of these kinds of attacks. But he also said that Ukrainians are going to resist.
And Hugo, I can see from the fact that it's completely white behind you, where normally one would have a view of the city, that the weather is freezing, it's snowing, it's raining. How difficult is everyday life being made for people living in Ukraine right now?
It is very difficult, and yesterday people were telling us, and I think this is the view from people all across the country. They have to endure hours and hours of blackouts every day, and then if there's no electricity in some places, there's no heating, there's no water. Obviously, people are adjusting their lives. They're buying generators. They are adjusting their lives to live with the reality of constant blackouts. But again, I think people people are incredibly frustrated with these attacks, the disruption that these attacks have been causing to their lives. And the authorities are saying that these attacks are unlikely to stop. They say that this is how Russia is responding to military setbacks on the battlefield by attacking civilian sites and civilian infrastructure in places across the country away from the front lines.
Hugo, thank you.
That was the Win FM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and the ICDF Taiwan Technical Mission.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Think before you bin it. There can be some use in it. The St. Kitts and Nevis Solid Waste Management, in collaboration with Taiwan ICDF Technical Mission and the Department of Environment, presents Let's Recycle. We are encouraging all residential homes, commercial businesses, and schools to bring along your plastic bottles, metal cans, and aluminum cans, ready for an opportunity to win big. From 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every second and fourth Tuesday each month at the following locations in St. Kitts: the Connery Roundabout, every first and third Tuesday at Buckley's parking lot in front of Best Buy, and the last Saturday of each month in Deep Bay. In Nevis, every second and fourth Friday of each month at Delta Petroleum, Ex-Petrol in Camps, Big Six in Gingerland, and Old Artisan Village in Charlestown. But wait, that's not all. 1 pound equals 1 point. So bring your recyclables and build up your points for a chance to win stainless steel thermal bottle, flatware set, and much more. To learn more about the recycling project, do visit our Facebook page at Let's Recycle in St. Kitts and Nevis, or contact us at 465-2372. The choice is yours. Save it or waste it. You are the difference. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Tis the season to save with Delayed Walwyn and Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Purchasing a new car this Christmas? Save up to 65% off. Yes, that's 65% off your motor insurance premiums. Switch and save.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
People make the world go round.
Buying your medication is easy with City Drugstore's curbside pickup. WhatsApp our certified pharmacist at 662-8769 with your requests. For prescriptions, take a clear photograph and send for review. We will engage you in dialogue and then provide a quotation and link for payment. You can then pay via TDC's online payment portal. And once the transaction is complete, you'll be notified that your pickup is ready. Yes, it's that easy. Send your WhatsApp message to 662-8769 to order your medications today with City Drugstore's curbside pickup service.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
Welcome back to Inside the News here on Win FM 98.9. It is 12:25 and I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. The Bastia High School, of course, this remains a topic. I have here an article that we did a few days ago. So a new day on the horizon for the Bastia High School rehabilitative project underway. It says the Deputy Prime Minister, who's Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, who is also responsible for education, confirmed the construction of a new Bastia High School on its original site. On Tuesday, December 13, the Minister of Education visited the grounds of the Bastia High School, where the first phase of work has commenced, including the removal of the roof, to be followed by the next phase, which is the demolition of the old structures at the school's compound. It says, quote, "What is real heartwarming for me when I looked around this morning is the many small contractors that are on site, everyone getting an opportunity to get a piece of the pie, and that's exactly what I intend to do with this project and other projects going forward. I will deliver the real deal in education, said Dr. Hanley. The Minister of Education informed that the government did its research and engaged stakeholders, explaining that the project is being undertaken without haste, but with sound advice and transparency. Dr. Hanley said once the school is completed, the whole society, will benefit, especially the nation's children. We know that there was a lot of controversy surrounding the Bastia High School in terms of millions that were reportedly spent on just the, I think something to do with advice that was given or some story like that. But there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the Bastia High School. So I guess it is safe to say now that yes, something is actually happening there. And that is good news. The article continues. The Bastia High School has been showered in controversy for about 8 years. Wow. The original school was abandoned at its Victoria Road location due to ongoing health issues reported by students and teachers. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health reviewed a request from the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, to evaluate the indoor environmental quality at the Bastia High School. The process was carried out in 2014 whilst the school was unoccupied. Now, the experts checked for mold, moisture, and water damage and measured temperature, relative humidity, carbon monoxide, hydrogen, and total volatile organic compounds. They also conducted lead paint testing, checked airflow in the chemical fume hood in the chemistry lab, conducted a pest control assessment, and also examined improvements made to the school in 2012. So there has been a lot of work going on at the Bastia High School over the years, and for the most part we kept hearing about it and never really seeing much action happening there with the Bastia High School. Never seen much really happening there with the Bastia High School. But based on that visit that was done on Tuesday, this week, Tuesday the 13th, it appears as if that some work is going to be done there, and it appears as if some work is going to be done there, and we can say that yes, the students who attended the Bastia High School, well, that was 8 years ago, so they've already moved on. That was 8 years ago, so they have already moved on to the university, or those who are now in the workforce. But definitely, based on what we saw on Tuesday and in this report, we are going to have a new Bastia High School. It is 12:30. Let me take this short break to give a shout out to our sponsors, and when I come back, we'll continue Inside the News here on Win FM 98.9. Let's hit this break and I'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
It's that time again. TDC Insurance is offering awesome deals in its holiday extravaganza. Buying a new car? Get up to 60% off your motor insurance, free windshield cover, 0% interest free, cashback, and so much more. Buying a house? Save up to 30% on home insurance and additional discounts if you pair with your new car. It's crazy this holiday season at TDC Insurance with our TDC Insurance Holiday Extravaganza. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects or sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. That is 466-0989 or 762-0989. Your thoughts on the progress made thus far in the Bastia High School. We have some callers. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon again, Devon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I know you ain't had no lunch. The time is too short.
Right.
Now, what? Let me give a requiem to the East Park Range section of the Bastia High School. I was among the first set of students to attend the new school in September 1961. So, you're talking about I am 74, eh? So all those who went to the school in 61, some of them could even be in the 80s, those who went to the fourth form. And you can imagine the transformation then, because most of us came out of the old school, these one-room schools where you share desks, cheapest, this combined desk. For the first time, we had a chair and a desk to ourselves. And for the first time, we had different teachers in the same class. So we felt good, and the perennial problem of poor maintenance will cripple no matter if they build, what they're building now going to suffer the same thing. They build them, they don't maintain them or repair them. Same thing, So we know at a spot now. So all of you who went to the Bastia Senior School, as it was called then, older than the Bastia High School, maybe you should go and take a last look and see your history being dismantled. Now, I was under the impression that the Bastia High School construction was number one priority. Didn't you?
What was that question, sorry?
I said I was under the impression that the rebuilding of the Basty High School was number one priority.
Oh, okay.
They put it in the oven. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm following. Yeah.
From the discussion, it seems like they're going to take 4 years before it is built. So I said to myself, all those who are presently in the Basty High School now will not go into the new Basty High School. So I think they need to move it up further on the agenda. I mean, you have a whole year. Well, they have already started to dismantle. By March, they should be able to dismantle the whole thing, do whatever testing they got to do, whatever soil testing, and start the construction. Because it makes no sense to stop it from starting over there. And then the children are not going to benefit. While we're complaining, and I was listening to the result. If you notice, on this CXC top list, Basty High School wasn't there. Did you realize that?
No, I didn't.
Check it. Those, they're talking about in the top 10 for the Caribbean. You had Vultures, you had Sadlers, you had Sixth Form and the School. And I did not hear the Basty High School, which supposed to be our premier school. So, Mr. Minister, you got to bring it up. It don't make any sense to say you're going to criticize. You got to be, we want to see construction. Now, what about the procurement process? You notice something? The AG was adamant that we must have bidding. You recall that?
No, but go ahead, make your contribution.
Yes, he said he's going to bring up the procurement bill and whatever. And there was the talk about the former Prime Minister just hiring people and whatever. Now we have got to make sure we have principles. Did they bid? Were they asked to bid? But all in all, I was quite impressed with Mr. Henry, especially in relation to the social services and the revamping of it and correcting some of the issues. I give him some credit. I know people are going to be upset. But we got to learn to be people of integrity. But he has got to ensure you can't protest the building of the school on the aquifer and then turn around and take so many years to build it. That should have been ahead of even building the houses. All right, then.
All right. Oh, thank you so much for your contribution. You lost me there for a second. Yeah, you kind of lost me there for a second. Yeah, the phone lines are open and we are taking your calls at 466-0989, 762-0989. I think your question was if the construction of the school is priority and how long it would take, or 4 years or something like that. We have another caller. Let's have it to the phone lines. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Mr. Cornelius.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad for my age, so.
All right, good to hear.
Yes, good afternoon to the listeners home and abroad, Carl Brown here. Mr. Cornelius, I listened a good bit yesterday to the Deputy Prime Minister. I would say he's sounding very good. His intentions seems to be meaning well, but we will look along and see how the progress is. What most interesting that I like to hear that it's mostly going to be local workers that are going to be doing most of the work, and that is very, very, very important. The importance of that is that most of the money stays in the economy and circulate amongst the citizens and residents, and everybody has got a piece of the pie. To move on from that to agriculture, it is very heartbreaking to hear the pittance that they put in the money that they put in agriculture for the budget. I mean, You hear them, Mr. Cornelius, talking about food security for quite a while now. You hear them talking about throughout the whole Caribbean, all these jokey organizations, they got OAS, OECS and CARICOM and all of them, they said that they want to cut the food import bill by half or just under half by 2025. Now, if you want to do that, Mr. Cornelius, you're going to put them pittance of finance there in your budget for agriculture? It cannot work. Already, I attended 3 meetings of the Agriculture Department Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if you hear the cry of the farmers, the crop farmers, the fishers, the vegetables, and, you know, if you hear the cry and the wants and the needs at those meetings, and we are saying that 2025 we're going to cut import bill, we better forget about it, because that pittance that you put in the budget for 2023 is a joke. It's like Tom and Jerry. The demands of the fishers, the needs and the wants to make the business going forward to help and supply and feed the nation and possibly other countries outside of St. Kitts Nevis. You hear the cry and the wants and the needs of the crop farmers, the herd farmers, and you give a pittance, is a joke. We wasting our time. We're not interested in agriculture at all. And agriculture can always be not even on the stove. Agriculture ain't even on the stove now, Mr. Cornelius. Agriculture is still on the ground where agriculture grows.
So you're thinking more can be done to boost agriculture in the country?
If you want more to be done, and if you want to cut the food import bill, that pittance we put in agriculture, we are laughing at the farmers. Because the cry at those meetings, already the authorities is bawling and saying they're going to have to wait, they're going to have to be like the Chinese tell you, they're going to be scrabbling for funds to do the number of needs of the farmers in the different areas of the farming business. Already on the money dish out to the authorities here to start working, and they're done bawling at those meetings. Now, the other thing is, if we so serious about agriculture, we got to have enough land to allocate, and you got a lot of farmers too, claim that this portion of land is the one and not a thing in them but grass. You have to put laws and stipulation in place. You're not working the land, we take the land from you. We give it to people who want to work the land. And you have to put laws in place that you have to improve in your business. You can't be doing farming 100 years, and when you started in 1972, and now today, 2022, you're still at the same place. You're not in your fence. You're farming the land for so much years. You're making out of the land. You're land in your fence. Some of them got wires, fencing, some ain't get none. But if you ain't get trying to improve and help yourself, you're bawling about the pigs, your monkeys, the dogs, and everything they're bawling about, eating down things. But lots of the farmers ain't doing nothing to hinder these things. So you got to put laws in place that, along with that, the government will have to work, seriously with the farmers too. Because at this moment, that doesn't seem like it's the way that, and from past government, that doesn't seem a lot of talk and very little action. And I must say, at that meeting, I met with the Permanent Secretary of Sustainable Development, and we are supposed to have a meeting Monday morning. Madam Permanent Secretary, You say, come to see you about the land. I will be there Monday morning to meet you. And we will sit and discuss the land and about my business going forward. Because you see, Mr. Carlos, I really want to make my contribution in another way. Now I left the civil service, retired from the civil service, and that is going to help farmers tremendously. I just hope the farmers can keep the supply coming. And in a few weeks, I will put my business proposal to the cabinet. And I hope it will not fail at the cabinet. I hope it will pass. And we can push agriculture and make agriculture look like it's working again. Because you see, Mr. Carlos, what my business going to be doing is bringing back the old Simaco, where farmers have a place to bring the crops, the food, whatever food kind they have a place to bring it and sell it. You know, I plant, or I fish, or I have animals. I know I could go and get 200 pounds of meat sell this week. I could get 300-400 pounds of fish sell this week, constant thing. That's what will be my business, Mr. Carlos. So I'm meeting with the PS of Sustainable Development on Monday morning, and I hope I will have some good news to tell the nation after that meeting, and I hope the land will be given and we can press forward and make agriculture and Simaco come back. I go on, so.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. It is 12:48 here in the studios of Win FM 98.9, and you are listening to Inside the News. The phone lines are open, and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Call us today and be part of the conversation. It is 12:48. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Let's take a short break to acknowledge our sponsors, and when we come back, we will continue the program for today.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
People make the world go round.
This holiday season, a loan from TDC Financial Services is for me and for you. Up to $85,000 for any purpose. So you know, top up for my food business, repairs on the house, and all the styles for Sugar Mass 51. And of course, sorting out my kids for back to school. Hear what my friend had to say about her experience.
Girl, I love to get my holiday loan at TDC Financial Services. It is less hassle and you get the loan fast.
So you see, TDC Financial Services is the place to get what you need this Christmas. A loan for me and a loan for you. Terms and conditions apply.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
People make the world go
Welcome back to Inside the News here on WinFM 98.9. It is 12:52 here in our studios. The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 762-0989. Your thoughts on the Bastia High School? As I stated earlier, works have, let me say, recommenced. We know there was a lot of traction and talk surrounding the Bastia High School, especially for this year. During the election campaign in August, there was a lot of talk surrounding the Bastia High School. And based on the visit there on Wednesday, it appears as if something will be done. I'm talking like this, or I'm saying this because, you know, the time, you know, has gone by and it's been quite some time now, about 8 years. I didn't realize it was that long. But I can tell you that, for the most part, for quite some time, we have been hearing about the controversies surrounding the Bastia High School. And everybody has been asking, you know, when will this be completed? What is the real issue with the school? We know the former administration started the school, and they I forget the name of the actual site, but that site where questions came surrounding the aquifer there, and we're hearing where close to $15 million was spent, and not much has been done. And so it's a case where you're seeing that $15 million or close to $15 million has been spent, but you're not seeing where. You are not seeing, you know, the hey, this is what I can point to for that 15 or that $14 million, which is quite, is unfortunate. Now, a report from the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health said, quote, "We evaluated indoor environmental quality concerns at the Bastia High School. We saw no widespread mold, but we did observe water damage, likely from leaking roofs and pipes in some buildings. We found low levels of hydrogen in science labs that seemed to be from dry drain traps. Relative humidity levels in the naturally ventilated school classrooms were above recommended guidelines. We recommend that a comprehensive ventilation assessment be conducted and all roof and pipe leaks be fixed." Additionally, more controversy ensued when the former Team Unity administration or government made a decision to build the school and the Bastia Valley Aquifer. Critics claimed that the aquifer will be contaminated, but with the building of the new school. But according to the former government, reports from water engineers and other technical experts who conducted feasibility studies said the aquifer stands no risk of being contaminated. Despite the assurance of experts, critics still did not agree to the building of the new Bastia High School on the aquifer. However, the Team Unity government, prior to the August 5th election, did not listen to naysayers and went ahead, clearing the land, hosted a groundbreaking ceremony, and erected a billboard, with a 3D model of the intended Bastia High School at the site. After the August 5th elections, the New St. Kitts Nevis federal government informed that the school will not be built at the aquifer, but instead at its original site. And there was lots of feedback where some were saying, let us go to a brand new site and construct a brand new school. Others were saying, we want to go back to the original site, break down what is there, and let us construct the Bastia High School on the old site. What we're seeing now is that it's the case where they're going to use the old site. They're going to do some renovations there, and the list goes on. It could be a case where they're going to change their mind and try something different. I don't know. But as it is right now, yes, the school is being built on the original site, or rehabilitated, refurbished, renovated. They're fixing up the old site there. The original Bastia High School was abandoned in 2014 with no further occupancy. At the time of its closure, it consisted of 2 campuses, 12 separate classroom buildings, and was utilized by more than 800 students and approximately 80 staff members. The school was transformed to temporary locations such as the Warner Park Cricket Stadium, not transformed, sorry, that should be transferred. So the school was transferred to temporary locations such as the Warner Park Cricket Stadium. And so classes were being held at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium, the Old Girl Guides, and the Old Boys School, and in later years operated under a shift system at the Washington Archibald High School. And that was the situation there surrounding the Bastia High School. So a lot has been said over the past 8 years, and we are really hoping that this is the time for something to be done, instead of coming us and telling us that we're going to do this and I'm going to ensure that this is done. This is the time for there to be real action. It's been over 8 years, and I can only imagine that people are getting weary, perhaps to the point where some have even forgotten about the Bastia High School, because it's been talked about so much time, and then we drop it for quite some time, we come back again. You know, it is quite unfortunate.
WINN 98.9 is WINN FM.
People make the world go
Welcome back to Inside the News here on 1FM 98.9. It is 2 minutes past the 1 o'clock hour. Most of you perhaps have heard of the drug bust that was at the RLB International Airport. And I have a report here from the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force. It says charges have been laid against a 39-year-old Sean Duport in relation to a drug bust at the RLB International Airport this week. Now, Duport, a national of St. Kitts and Nevis who resides in Tortola, was charged by both the police and the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department on December 13, 2022. Police charged him for the offenses of possession of cannabis with intent to supply and the importation of cannabis. He was charged by customs officers for the offenses of submitting a false declaration to a customs officer, concealment of goods, importation of restricted items, and fraudulent evasion with respect to the importation of a restricted item. Also on December 13, 2022, Duport received bail in the sum of $50,000 with two sureties, with the conditions that he is to 1. Report to the Old Road Police Station twice per week, and 2. Surrender all travel documents. He is to appear before the Bastia Magistrate Court on February 6, 2023. This was a drug bust at the RLB International Airport last week. Was it last week or earlier this week? It was earlier. It was earlier this week. A drug bust at the RLB International Airport. I think it was on either Monday or Tuesday. Either Monday or Tuesday. But it was the drug bust there. And the police, well, of course, they've issued a statement. The police acted quickly on this, as well as the customs officers from the Customs and Excise Department, and they have laid their charges. Of course, just like other Caribbean countries in Kitts and Nevis, we continue to, we'll have to deal with the issue of the illegal importation of drugs and all things illegal, from people to drugs to all kind of things that weapons that we really have to deal with here, which is quite unfortunate. Of course, I would say the police are doing their very best to stamp this out. Of course, we know I don't think we're ever going to get to the point where we're not going to have people trying to smuggle weapons and drugs and all of that into ports. I think for the most part that is going to continue. But police cooperating with the local community in terms of the investigation. It is something that they have been calling on the community to do, to assist them in their investigation. It's just that some people, they lack confidence in the police, and they prefer to remove themselves completely from that investigation process. There are some people who prefer not to say anything, and I guess some of them maybe have their reasons why, and you can't be upset with them. But it was quite a busy week. A lot has been going on. The elections in Nevis, the drug bust, a lawyer being arrested for that's crazy. We have a caller on the line. Let's take this caller. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Canila. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm good. The elections in Nevis are now over. Well,
Yes.
we hope. Because there seems to be now an imminent court battle. Because based upon the statement released from the leader of the NRT.
Caller, I'm not hearing you clearly. Can you speak up?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're sounding really soft. Try to speak directly into the phone.
Right. So I'm saying based upon the pronouncement of the leader of the NRP, Dr. Daniel Hodge, it is clear that they are on their way. They're preparing to go to the courts to have some sort of redress or legal decision on the matter in St. John's. No, I'm not sure if the public is aware as to what is the growing discontentment or contention in that St. John's seat, because apparently at the close of polls, and particularly I'll be quite frank with you, I was over in Nevis during the election because I went over to observe something, to see what was happening, because I like to be on the ground when there's an election.
Yes.
And,
Caller, try to speak up. You're sounding really soft in my end.
Can you hear me much better now?
Yes, have the phone closer to you.
Right, and I'm saying, so I was there, and I gather on the day of the election that at the Ivor Walters Primary School, which would have the boxes coming in from Browning, that 16 persons reported in the morning, early, to vote. When they turned up to vote, their name was not on the list which was provided to both the indoor and outdoor agents. However, the presiding officer, in her judgment, allowed the persons to vote because she had a master list, and on the master list their name was there. So I am thinking that the contention was because the elections were just on in August, and you know that persons up to September that were registered were allowed. So maybe the list that came down for the indoor agents did not reflect the September additions, and so these people were allowed to vote.
But not to cut you off, caller. That is unfortunate, because we don't know if this took place in other constituencies, because what we're hearing, what you've said, suggests that it took place across the board, where the presiding officers had one list and the poll clerks or other agents for both parties had another list.
Mr. Cornelius, I don't want you to get me wrong.
No,
I'm referring to the Ivor Walter situation, which I am aware of. I also saw in Jessup that there was a similar issue where the list in Jessup, that situation had occurred whilst I was on the road, whilst observing what was happening. And so I am not certain as to the widespread nature, but those things were eventually resolved with the list coming back from the electoral office with an updated list. So it can be, it's not necessarily that the parties, the CCM or the NRP, are in bed or in cahoots with what happened. It just is clear that the electoral office made a blunder in the list that it sent to the Ivor Walters school, and the list that it sent also to in Jessups, where the voting was going on.
And you're saying that at the end of it all, they were issued with the correct list.
They were issued with the correct list. Mm-hmm. So where the challenge occurred at the Ivor Walters Primary Schools, because the 16 persons were allowed to vote. Now, normally what happens, you know the voting process. The indoor agents normally write down on the person's name who votes and the ballot which was assigned to them. So because these persons were not on the master list, they would not have the list that indoor agents have. They did not write down the name. So at the close of poll, when they were tallying now, they're saying, where did these 16 voters came from? Because if my indoor agent, then NRP said, if my indoor agent doesn't have the name, the system indoor agent doesn't have the name, then NRP is saying that these voters did not exist, but that's not the case. They were allowed to vote because their name was on the master list. And so that's the challenge. But even if you move away from that issue, the point is, if these 16 persons you're saying should not vote, what would be the decision of the court? If the court decides that it's going to disqualify the 16 persons from voting or call those 16 votes null and void, Mark Brantley would still have won St. John's. because the case that the NRP will bring to court, it cannot be a case that says the entire election must be declared null and void. It has to be in particular to those 16 votes. And so I am actually absolutely disappointed in the approach of Dr. Bartlett and also the NRP, because what it says to investors in Nevis, if it is that Nevis cannot govern its affairs, if it is that Nevis is not ready democratically for an election, how can Nevis be ready for investment? This is almost a similar thing that we're seeing in the United States with Kerry Lake and others in Arizona who have become election deniers. The election was rigged, the election was this. The NRP asked for the election supervisor, the former supervisor, to be removed. It was a new supervisor. The NRP asked for certain additional watchdogs to be created. Observers were there from CARICOM and OECS.
No, I don't know. There were no observers there.
Well, there was an observer from the OECS. I saw that on the day. There was an observer.
You saw an observer from the OECS?
There were observers there was an observer from the OECS.
Okay, can you recall who that individual was? I'm just saying because I didn't see any from OECS or the CARICOM observation mission.
When we talk on Monday, I'll provide you with the name of the person. But there was an observer from the OECS, and there was also observers from the electoral office in St. Kitts as well, because they came over and they were assigned to different areas to observe the process of what was happening with the presiding officers.
What I saw, I think it was the supervisor of elections as well as the members from the electoral commission.
The commission, right? That's what I was referring to. Now, so I don't want to get lost into this, because if this will become a matter of a legal matter, then therefore I have no basis upon which to speak on the matter. And I think that is also the position that the NRP ought to take. If you're going to court, it is not wise and right for you to be making pronouncements until the matter has come to the court and until the courts have decided what are the steps to take. Now, in relation to, so if we're looking at this, there were issues over in St. James as well, right, with persons whom I observed, and nobody has to tell me, I observed when I went on the ground and asked what was happening, because I went there just to observe the elections. I did the same here in St. Kitts. I've done the same. There's an election coming in Antigua, I'll be doing the same, because that is something that I enjoy doing. Now, when I went into St. James, there were persons in Fountain who were being paid monies by the, and I will not say which party, but were being paid monies not to vote. So we must be careful when we have these discussions, because there were just a lot of things. Both parties were on the verge of deciding that they will not lose this election, and all steps were made to ensure that they did not lose. I think the problem that the NRP faces is that the NRP had a strong belief that they would be able to win this election. And it is very hard for you to accept that you have lost an election when you have put out your all. And I can understand that. What if it were a case if in St. Kitts, when the elections were very close, when Patty's Libert had lost his seat to Jeffrey Hanley, the parties decided, oh no, I have not lost, I was cheated. Yeah? So we have to come to a sense of democratic maturity when we say, okay, those persons who have been tasked with the responsibility to govern these affairs, to deal with electoral matters, I have the full confidence in them that they will do their job. The people in the electoral office are very hard-working civil servants, public servants, who have put their life, their efforts on the line to ensure that the democracy in this country, in both islands, are preserved and should not come under this undue pressure and this undue level of disrespect, for want of a better word, from what I'm seeing coming from members of the supporters of the NRP and supporters of the wider political parties in the country, because it's not just the NRP who attacked the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party had the same approach leading up to the election. They cuffed the head of the electoral office, and so this is something that we must stop. Is either we are going to have people who we trust, or we're going to not have people who we don't trust. The issue is we can't continue this way down this road, because it is not good for investment, and this country thrives on investors. No investor will come into a country to invest when he understands that the democratic processes can just be easily tomorrow morning be controlled by anyone or be influenced by anyone. And we, as political leaders, we need to stop it. It is disgusting, it is distasteful, and it is not the right approach. So I urge the NRP to wait on the court decision if you are going to court, if you are going to file a case, before you make any more public pronouncements. Nevis is going through a situation with the geothermal. 17 million has just been approved by the CDB. Nevis needs other investors to come on board. How do you think that look in the eyes of investors? Oh, the election were stolen in Nevis. That cannot be good for the name of Nevis and for the love of Nevis. And to forgive him for taking such a length of time on this, Mr. Cornelius.
No, that's okay.
But I'm really passionate about this, because I've had this deep sentiment and deep love for Nevis. And this has nothing to do with it. If the NRP had won the elections, I'd be the first to congratulate the NRP. Right? As a matter of fact, I congratulate the NRP on a hard-fought election. It is clear that the NRP has increased its momentum. I mean, I'm using a CCM word now, has increased its momentum in Nevis. It's clear. It's clear that the NRP has grown its base. But the fact is, we cannot deny what people, the intent of people. We cannot deny what the voters have done on that day. We can say, though, that there are some issues. We may have issues with the process. But I think, fair and all, in altogether, that the electoral process in this country is intact. It is intact. It is very hard for somebody to steal an election. And people on the road need to understand this. You can't steal an election when my indoor agent is inside there, when your indoor agent is inside there, and when the presiding officer sits there, when a police officer is sitting there, when we all have to corroborate the counts that we have. It is very difficult to do so. It is very difficult to do so. This is not a banana republic. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is not a banana republic. Not even Haiti. You can steal an election just like that. There are certain things that are put in place within the electoral laws of this country that allows checks and balances for both parties and from the state apparatus. So it is very difficult to do so. And we need to stop it, because it's not making the country look good. Oh, moving away
Right.
from that.
Well, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. We'll take some more calls right here on 1FM 98.9. It is 1:21 here in our studios, and the phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989, 762-0989. That is 466-0989 or 762-0989. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. Your last caller was interesting. It's so of course, using his logic, it was incorrect of the CCM to have brought a petition case in 2011. So is he suggesting that, irregardless of whether you suspect fraud, you should never go to the court because it's not in the best interest of the image of the country? you should just always accept the result regardless of what you think or what evidence you have. It was a fascinating discourse you had with him. Me personally, I disagree with that. If you think you have grounds for an action, you take that action and you let the court decide.
All right. Thank you, caller, for your contribution to this program. It's a matter for the court to decide if, whether CCM or NRP, if the party believes that it has enough evidence to bring a case, then they have every right to bring a case. It's not for me or for you to decide that, well, I don't think they don't have a case. I don't think they have enough evidence to bring a case, and so they should not do it. If you don't believe that the elections were not fairly contested and you can prove it, because it's easy for you to go out and say the elections were stolen and you can't prove it, then just hush. But if you feel that you can bring a case and you have enough evidence to bring a case, then that is your right. Let's go back to the phone lines. Okay, we seem to have lost that. Please call us back at 466-0989, 762-0989. It is 1:24 here in the studios of 1FM 98.9. There's a few minutes left before we wrap up the discussion for today. So that's the point that I am making. If they feel that they have enough evidence to bring a case, that is their right to bring a case. Okay, we have a caller on the line. Let's take this call. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Okay, we lost that. Caller, please call us back at 466-0989 or 762-0989. You're listening to Inside the News for Saturday, December 17, 2022. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. This is Inside the News on WinFM 98.9. The elections held in Nevis on Monday. There are allegations of irregularities taking place there. All right, let me hold that thought and take this call. The caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, a pleasant good afternoon to you.
Caller, good afternoon.
Can
You're on
hear
the
me?
air. Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. I just listened to the gentleman there what was on. And he said he was just observing. But you seem to me like he do a lot of observing. Because he know all what happening down here. He know all what happening in this place. He see people are paying money. And he know that paying money, it is wrong. And he still ain't saying nothing. But now he's going to come on and judge the NRP for carrying it to court. But if he sees so much, we expect people else to see more and what's he going to tell them to go to court and what's not. Let the people them do what they got to do. The man individual let them do what they got to do because you sound like him from here now that stuff. I don't see where he can come in and come and talk about they ain't supposed to go court and he observe what's around things that go on, but they mustn't go court still. Come on, you got to be real. Okay, you have a blessed afternoon.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. You're listening to Inside the News. We wrap up this program at 1:30. People are giving their thoughts on the elections held in Nevis on Monday, December 12. As I said, there are allegations of irregularities taking place, and the NRP has taken a position where they're saying that they will seek to challenge the election results. Based on that statement, they are of the view that they have a case and they're going to present this case before the court. It is for the court to decide whether they have enough grounds for the elections to be overturned, whether they go back to the polls or the judge or whoever finds those results null and void. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal expert, and so I cannot say whether or not the evidence that they are going to present or are presenting are enough for the elections to be overturned. If they feel that they want to bring a case, bring their case and let the judge or whoever decide the outcome. As I said, this is not the first time we are seeing election results being challenged. I think it was back in 2012 or 2011 where election results were challenged. At that time, it was the CCM, and they felt that they had a really good case. They came before the court, and the court ruled in their favor. It is not my place, or it was not my place to say that I don't believe they have a case. They went out, they did their homework, they gathered their evidence, and they presented it before the court, and the court ruled and say, hey, this is what we have decided. That is the same thing that might happen in this one, where the NRP is going to go, they're going to compile their evidence and what they believe took place in the election. They present it before the court, and the court decide whether the court says that the elections are going to be overturned, or the court says this is not enough evidence for me to do that. Let's take this final call for the program today. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon. Just a correction. In 2011-2012, the court actually ruled against the CCM. They then appealed, and the appellate court then ruled in their favor.
Thank you for that.
Just to be pedantic.
Yes, thank you for that correction, caller. All right, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. It is 1:30 here in the studios of 1FM 98.9. Let me say thank you for your contribution to this program. It has been another edition of Inside the News. I've been your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Until next time, you guys stay safe and enjoy the rest of your weekend. It is the final day of VAT Day. I can imagine people are out in their numbers shopping and buying all sorts of things and enjoying the day 2 of, let me say, final day of VAT Day. And of course, it is Carnival. It's Carnival in St. Kitts. So until next time, you guys enjoy your weekend and take care. Bye-bye.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Trish, let's go.